Hello there, and welcome to episode 6 of Bedrock Boot Camp. Me, Nogri. As you can tell, we have updated to 1.17, the Cave and Cliff update, part 1, or better known as the GOAT update. As you can tell by Fred, who's back there doing circles because he's trapped, but I didn't want him stepping on the fire. So in today's episode, we are going to be going to the Nether. Yes, you've heard that right. We're finally going to the Nether. I've been dreading this for quite a while now, but we need to go there. There's a lot of resources that we need, and it's the next step in our progression. Now, you might be wondering why I am not making a 1.17 explanation video or telling you all the different things that are in here. All the other content creators are currently doing that, and I really don't want to jump on that bandwagon. So instead, go check out Blue Jay Games. I'll link him in the description. He has a very good explanation video that talks about all the new blocks and mobs that are in the update, so go check him out. Before we start preparing for our trip to the Nether, I should probably show you what I've updated. I've updated a few packs because of 1.17. Foxy has dropped a new mob heads pack, a mini blocks pack, an armor stand, plus a marker pack, which I will show off that at some point, and then one player sleep, spectator mode player head. I currently don't have player heads enabled for it, but the spectator mode and one player sleep will be when I have my camera account on here. And I've also added durability viewer. This will show me how much durability is left on my tools and armor. Kind of like how Java has the little feature where they can see that. This way we can see it on Bedrock. To get these packs, just go to Foxy's website, which I've linked in the description, or go to mcpedl.com to get the durability viewer. So first things first, we need to upgrade our gear. This iron gear that I'm running, even if it is enchanted, isn't going to do me too well in the Nether. It might get me by, but I have bad luck in the Nether. So we have some diamond armor that we're going to use, plus a gold helmet. I will explain why a gold helmet later on. First step in preparing for the Nether is using our XP furnace that we've been working on. Between episodes, it finally finished up. So I put a lever here to prevent anything else from getting into the hopper and pulled everything else out and put it up here. Now, if I flick this once, potato will drop down in here. It'll cook, but it won't fall all the way through. You notice I am at level 43. If I pull this out now, I'm at level 53. Now let me hit it again. There'd only be one potato in there. As soon as it's done, it won't fall through. We pull it out, and now we're at 60. This will help us get the experience we need to enchant our gear. Alright, so at the enchantment table, we're going to start enchanting the gear that we're going to use. I've already enchanted a few diamond pickaxes, which gave me a Fortune 2, and this one has Silk Touch. These are all really good pickaxes for my first pulls. And then I got a Silk Touch with Unbreaking 3 shovel, which is okay. No efficiency, but it'll work for now. And I got a Looting 3 sword. It'll last me for a little bit, but I will want to upgrade these at some point. For starter gear, I think it's pretty good. So now we're going to try to enchant our gear for the Nether. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a chest plate. It'll give us projectile protection, which might be alright, especially with skeletons about. But let's see what else we can get before we enchant that one. If we put the leggings in there, it will give us, again, projectile protection. Let's try something else. Protection 4. I will definitely take this. And it gave me just protection 4, nothing else, which is a chance that you run when you are using an enchantment table instead of enchanted books. So now let's go back to the chest plate. You will notice that we have a different selection. Every time you enchant, it changes up the selection that it gives you. So like now, it's given me Thorns 2. If I don't want that, I could try to enchant one of these other items and see what it rotates to give me. Or I can take this gold chest plate and enchant that, which gave me protection 4, which is okay. But let's go ahead and throw this back in there. Now it's something different. Again, protection 4. So let's go ahead and go with it to protect us from the skeletons. And now we're going to go through and take care of the rest of the gear. So if you run into a time where you keep getting enchantments that you don't want on your current helmet, like Aqua Affinity, not going to do me any good in the Nether, but I ran out of other gear to actually enchant. This is where the grindstone comes in handy. Throw the grindstone down, and you take an enchanted item and put it in there, it will disenchant it. That way now I can re-enchant it. And you actually get some experience back from it, but not enough to really talk about. Alright, well, we're geared up, we got some decent armor, and we have some tools, and I've even collected a few supplies that we're going to need along the way. Going to need a lot of cobblestone to help protect the portal on the other side. We got some torches to help mark the way. And I even have an infinity bow, which will help us fight off the ghast. The reason I'm bringing cobblestone is because they are blast resistant, so ghast cannot blow them up as easy as they can netherrack or all the other stuff that we will find in the nether. Now I should probably explain what the nether is. The nether is the underworld of Minecraft. It is one of 3 dimensions, or should I say the second of 3 dimensions, and it is full of lava and netherrack and all kinds of scary mobs. Pretty much everything there is hostile towards you. We're going to run into piglins, which thankfully should not attack me because I'm wearing gold, and they absolutely love gold. If I had a little extra, I'd bring some to trade with them, which I might run and get a little bit of. But everything else will pretty much attack us on sight. So we need to be ready. That's why I bring in my shield, I have my sword, I have a little better armor. So yeah, let's get ready to do this. Alright, well, I think I have everything I need. Got it all together on me. The only thing left to do is to go in this room that I've cleared out a little bit of space for, and go ahead and build another portal. What you're going to want to do, and the minimum you can do for a portal, is 2 at the bottom, 3 at the side, and 2 at the top, and then another 3 at the side, and that would give you a 2x3 portal. That is the bare minimum you need to make a portal. I like to do mine 3x3, so that's what I'm going to do. You do not have to fill in the corners with obsidian. They can be left blank. You can put stone there, but just about anything you want there. I'm going to throw down a chest here just so I can have a little extra obsidian here. Now all we need is a flint and steel. With this flint and steel, I can light the portal, and we are ready to go. So I'm going to jump in, we're going to see what we have, and we're going to jump right back out. Okay, so I actually have a very good spawn spot. I don't have to jump back through. What I am going to want to do is put a wall up around here, because last thing we want is a ghast shooting this out. Because if a ghast shoots your portal, it will actually destroy the portal, and if it destroys some of the obsidian, I will not be able to get back to the overworld. We don't want that. So let's make ourselves a box around here, and then we can start adventuring. Oh, that could be bad. Let's see where that lava ends up going. Okay, it's going away from us. Hopefully. Well, we made ourselves a little hut. Nothing fancy. It's just a start for what we may build later on. I'm pretty sure I'll end up moving the portal. But it spawned us in one of 5 biomes. This biome over here is a nether waste. Not a whole lot to it, besides for netherrack, which is this wonderful stuff here. Breaks super easy. We also have a crimson forest, which is full of crimson trees over here. And as we run across the other biomes, we will talk about them. All in all, I think this is a pretty good spot for a portal. Not too dangerous, and it gives us access to a lava lake, which we can use to get around the nether a little bit. So let's get to exploring. Now right off the bat, we start off with a few important resources around us. We have quartz, which I will use for all kinds of redstone contraptions. We have nether gold, which is the same as regular gold once you smelt it down. I can fortune that and use it later. Then we have blackstone. It is pretty much the dark variant of stone. It helps you change up your build pad a little more. It gives you more dark options to use. And then we have magma cubes. You can run into these in the overworld, but we're going to collect them here because you can find them in higher numbers. Now we have to be careful with magma cubes, because if you jump on them, you start taking damage, and we don't want that. But it will come in handy when we make some of our different farms that we'll be making. Alright, so the reason I brought cobblestone and torches is that as I adventure out, I can throw down a piece of cobblestone, because you can't find cobblestone in the nether, so I'll stick out a little bit, and then I throw a torch on the side that faces towards our portals. We can always find our way back. And then as I go out further, I'll place one there and have it face towards this block. We can kind of just keep finding our way and chain our way back to the portal. So we ventured into the Crimson Forest. They're full of crimson trees, and they're full of hoglins, which are these wonderful pig-looking, or more warthog-looking things here. They will attack you on sight, and they pack quite a wallop. And they will also drop pork and leather. Then back here, we have a strider. Uh-oh, I'm being chased. There he is. We have a strider. You just saw there he changed colors. When he is away from lava, he turns this pinkish purple, but when he goes back on lava, he turns more of a red. They are the only things out here that will not attack you on sight. They're just cute little guys. If you get a saddle, you can actually ride them. Alright, so out of the Crimson Forest, the biggest resource that we are going to need is going to be the Crimson Nylium, which is this reddish carpet that is on the ground. We're going to take a few blocks of these. Then we're going to take a Crimson Fungus, which are these right here. If you bone meal Crimson Fungus, they will turn into Crimson Trees, which will give you Crimson Stem, which is the redwood of the Nether. Now, unlike trees in the overworld, when you take out the stems or all the planks and logs in the middle, the leaves don't disappear. The leaves here are nether wart blocks, so if you take a hoe to them, you can actually collect them. The hoe is the best tool for that, just like leaves in the overworld. Two other things that we want to collect are the weeping vines, which you need silk touch to collect, and then shroom lights, which, just like the leaves, work best for harvesting with a hoe. And hope that they don't fall right into lava. Brilliant! And as you see here, we have a piglin. If you are not wearing gold, they will attack you on sight. Thankfully, we're wearing gold, and we can actually barter with them. Barter with them, you take a gold ignet, and you throw it on the ground. They will pick it up, and 8 to 10 seconds later, they will throw you something. In this case, they threw me nether brick and soul sand. There are about 13 or 14 different items you can get from them. So to get a few more, we're going to throw a few more gold ignets at them. Now this time they threw some leather at me and obsidian. At some point, we will try to contain the piglin and actually put them in a bartering farm. But I think before that, we need to get to a gold farm, and we are a little ways off from that still. Here we have a warped fungus. They're usually found in a warped forest, but they do have a chance of spawning in the Crimson Forest. If you can get some warped nylium and bone meal this on there, it can give you a warped fungus tree. Hopefully we'll find some of that before we end the episode. Alright, and now we have our first experience with one of the other mobs of the Nether. This is a ghast. They will shoot fireballs at you that will explode. And they're really annoying to deal with when you're out in the open. This guy's actually being kind of nice right now, even though he just fireballed me to the face, and he despawned. So yes, you probably heard a little laughing in that last clip, and that was Westy laughing at me, which is normal when I'm in the Nether. And there's another ghast.
He fireballed you to the face.
Yes, he just fireballed me to the face, and that's what she was laughing at. So ghast will drop gunpowder and gas tears. Here we have a zombified piglin. The nice thing about them is if you leave them alone, they will leave you alone. But if you attack one of them, all of them in the area will attack you. And we really don't want to deal with that right now. Then if you look behind me, we have glowstone. Glowstone is good for brewing potions and also as another light source. If you mine it with silk touch, you get the actual block back. But if you mine it with fortune, you get glowstone dust. So earlier when I mined the quartz, I mined it with silk touch, which just gave me the block back. It's not actually what we want. If you mined it with fortune, you get actual nether quartz. This is what we will be using for all of our redstone contraptions later on. Oh man, I hear him. Oh, there he is. The bane of our existence. Magma cube. Now this one isn't too bad. He's just a little guy. But they, just like slime, they can come in different sizes. Had that been a bigger one, when we killed him, he would have actually broken into even smaller ones and kept coming at me. Thankfully, he was just a little guy. But I'm sure we will run into a lot more bigger ones as we explore the Nether. And down there, we see one of the bigger magma cubes we were talking about. I think he's a medium-sized one, and that's a small one. They actually come in one size bigger, but we're going to try to avoid them. And that is an Enderman. They are in all 3 dimensions, and if you look at them, look at their eyes, they will actually attack you. So we're just not going to look at him and hope he goes away. Now, if you get to the point where you have to fight an Enderman, build a 2-high tunnel back somewhere, and they will not be able to get you because they are 3-high. So now, currently, he's mad at me. You can hear that weird noise in the background. He will try to attack me. And if I go out too far, he'll actually be able to get me. But we're going to stick back a little bit and see what happens. Well, he seemed to have left me alone, which is a good and a bad thing. We do need to get the drops that they drop, which are ender pearls. But when we find one, I will show you. Alright, after exploring for a little bit, we have found our warped forest. We're going to take a little time to collect some of the resources here and get back onto exploring. The only thing really different are the vines. The only thing different here are the vines, which are called twisting vines. Everything else is just a green version of what we found in the red forest. Another advantage of the warped forest, though, is that Endermen do spawn more here. And if you saw, you can actually shoot back the fireballs from a ghast. I can hit the ghast. Well, after having a little fight with a couple Endermen, I finally got a few ender pearls. The cool thing about ender pearls is when you throw them, you actually teleport to where you throw them. But we actually are going to need them for another purpose, which is going to be to find the stronghold and get to the end, which all that will be in another episode. Ugh, and now we run into one of the worst biomes, the Basalt Delta. These are home to those magma cubes that we found earlier. They will spawn a lot more frequently here, as you can already see just from me standing here for a few minutes. The good thing about them, though, is you can find a lot of lava, you can find a lot of magma, you can find a lot of blackstone here, and a lot of basalt. And I don't know if it's really worth it to go in there for the blackstone, because we can find that other places, but for a start, it's a good place to go. I'm going to avoid it for right now, though. We'll try to find the last biome, and then we're going to try to get back home. One way to tell what biome you're in the Nether is to look at the particles in the air. Right now, you got a lot of those green, turquoise-looking colors floating around in the air, but if I go this way, they turn to gray, almost ash, which means we're in the basalt biome. Looks like I am not having any luck finding the Soul Sand Valley, which is the last biome left here, but that's not a bad thing. We could avoid that for now. Hopefully on the way back we can find just some soul sand that we can use for water elevators. And the next time we come to the Nether, we can spend a little more time looking for what we need. Now this is a perfect example of why I use cobblestone and torches to find my way back. If I look at this one and I look straight that way, I see the next one, and then I can see the next one back there and kind of make out the next one there. This will help me find my way back. Well, I wasn't able to find a Soul Sand Valley, but I did find some soul sand. What are you guys mad at? Alright, whatever. So soul sand, when you walk on it, you actually walk slower. But if you continue to barter with these guys, you can actually get soul speed, which will help you walk faster on here. Another advantage of soul sand is that when you place it in water, it will make bubble columns going up, which we will use for water elevators in the overworld. So for now, I'm going to grab a few pieces of this, and we are going to get out of here. Whew. Well, thankfully, I made it back. Now I can dump the stuff that I'm going to leave here, which will be the cobblestone and a set of torches, and start taking back the other things I need. Now, things like warp fungus and crimson fungus, if I use those with the different nyliums, I will actually be able to make the warped and crimson trees. And on that note, we're going back to the overworld. Well, before we call it an episode, we have to do our comment of the week. And for this week, I'm going with, hey Nogri, this is a comment that I am commenting. I hope YouTube doesn't delete this comment this time. Comment. Thank you. Blue Jay Games. So that actually has a very funny story behind it. Originally, Blue Jay commented something along the lines of calling the XP furnace cheating or something. And it showed up in my notifications, but did not show up on the video. I figured I had to put this on here. And I have to give a little shout out to Blue. He has helped me get the resources I needed to actually start streaming and has been a huge help with learning what I need to improve on. So between him and Westy, I have gotten the motivation to record videos and to improve them a little bit every time, even though Westy laughs at my recording voice. Well, we didn't find all the biomes we wanted. Like I said, we're missing the Soul Sand Valley, and there's still a few structures that we need to try to find, including the Bastion and the Fortress, but I think each of those will be their own episode in themselves, and we will get to them when the time is right. In the next couple episodes, we are going to start working on a villager breeder and an iron farm. Two big things that we are going to need moving forward. And on that note, this has been Nogri with the Bedrock Boot Camp. Over and out.